Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in, and what we have today is Realme's 32-inch full HD TV in for review. Now, if you think about it, and even if you go and search, you aren't going to find a lot of 32-inch full HD TVs. So the bump in resolution, of course, is great when you go from HD to full HD, but then again, in a 32-inch form factor, how much of a difference does that really make? And more importantly, what is the performance of this TV like? Well, the short answer is that this TV feels like one step forward, two steps back, and that's simply because the Realme TVs we reviewed back in 2020 had a few flaws which we really couldn't overlook, and this TV also brings those same flaws up front. So is it really worth considering? Well, the short answer is there are better options for you to choose from, but why that's the case is what we're about to find out in this review. And if you enjoy our TV reviews or want to know more about consumer technology from phones to laptops, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you are notified when we upload a new video. Now, kicking things off with the picture performance, this TV is a full HD TV and it also supports HDR10, but it does not support Dolby Vision, which is fine. I mean, I think Realme should have gone with not supporting HDR as well, because the performance is completely underwhelming. Using the SpectraCal CalMan, we recorded a maximum peak brightness of about 300 nits, but a sustained brightness of about 250 nits in HDR content, which is really low. And speaking of the HDR experience, we use the built-in apps like Netflix to consume content, and what we are going to do right now is show you a side-by-side comparison of what it looks like when we're consuming content in HDR and in SDR. But before we get into the details of that, know that you cannot change the picture settings when consuming content from the native apps, something we saw on Realme's TVs back in 2020, which is kind of a really big bummer. So when, let's say, you're watching a show like Our Planet, you do get this kind of a dark, dingy look to some of the content, and it isn't really as bright and vibrant as HDR content should be. But when you switch it to SDR, as you can see from the comparison footage on your screens right now, the SDR experience on this TV is so much better. And this is, of course, for shows on Netflix, because on Amazon Prime Video and on YouTube, we did the same thing. We played the same content on the TV via the native app for HDR performance, and then we connected the PS5 and used the same streaming services on the PS5, but keeping the output as SDR. Remember, the TV has 3 HDMI inputs, but they only support HDCP 1.4. So the SDR performance from a service like Netflix was much better than HDR, and also the fact that you can control the picture presets when you are working with an external device, but if you're using the internal apps, you cannot control the picture presets. In our experience, it felt like the built-in picture presets were set to standard, which is okay for SDR content consumption but not for HDR content consumption. Coming to some of the data we collected using the SpectraCal CalMan, as you can see from the graphs on your screen, we found that there was an average delta error quite high when measuring the color reproduction, especially when you keep it in HDR and look at the D65 white point. Now, in the color checker analysis, we found an average delta error of 11.9 without luminance error, and an average delta error of 37 with the luminance error, which means that the colors are pretty much off. As for the color match analysis, the error was about 14.11 without luminance error and 24.9 with luminance error. While the movie preset showed the lower errors of the two readings that we are showing you, the lower errors were found in the movie preset. It was actually the standard preset which made the content look a lot more appealing. When we come to the SDR performance with the CalMan, we recorded an average delta error of 9.28 in the color checker analysis for the movie preset, while the standard preset gave us an error of 11.89. So even though the average delta errors are pretty high, the SDR content consumption experience with the standard preset was something that was actually pretty acceptable for a TV at this price point. So if Realme would have just left the HDR performance out, we could have said, hey, this is a great full HD SDR TV, but that's not the case. And the fact that you can't change the picture presets just reduces more points from recommending this TV. Moving over to gaming, once again it's the same problem. If you switch on HDR on the PS5, you will notice that a game like Spider-Man Miles Morales and Dirt 5, once again we played these games with HDR on and HDR off, and as you can see from the comparison on your screens right now, in Spider-Man the environments look really dark and dingy, and the game wasn't at all enjoyable, but at least when you switch to SDR you can have a pretty decent gaming experience. Same for Dirt 5. you are supposed to get some effect of the sun shining into the racetrack in this game, and that wasn't the case at all until we switched to SDR, where we got some semblance of a decent experience. We even tried to bump up the HDR settings in Dirt 5 from the game itself, which has some pretty good white point adjustments that you can do, but that had no effect on the game whatsoever. It was still lackluster in HDR. So overall, I mean, if you are looking for a good TV where you can control the picture presets and don't mind an HD ready resolution for the 32-inch screen size, which I think should work, there are many options out there to choose from. It's really hard to recommend this TV based on the performance we've spoken of right now. What is good about this TV is the audio output. It has really clean sound. So if you're someone that's going to watch shows which have a lot of conversations in them, if you are going to watch a lot of shows which have let's say like something like the news, or even shows like Young Sheldon, which we saw, it had some really good vocal reproduction. Even a movie like Mission Impossible was actually pretty good on this TV, especially with the dialogues, and maybe some of the bangs and thuds were actually pretty acceptable considering the size of this TV. Putting it in a small bedroom at about 50 to 60% volume, you were kind of immersed. Yes, the speakers don't have a lot of bass, but they are clear, which is actually really good. Speaking of the SDR performance, once again, when you play SDR content through the native apps, it looks like the picture preset is standard, because when we changed the picture preset to movie, even though we got a warmer tone in a lot of the colors, which is how it should be, the color accuracy felt off. Again, leaning back to our Calman analysis, where it shows that the movie preset has slightly better color accuracy than standard, but the visual experience of this TV, the standard preset did a lot better. A movie like Spider-Man Homecoming, for example, in the standard preset, Spider-Man's suit with its red and blues looked clean, it looked vibrant, but when you switch the movie preset, the black lines in his suit, especially around the face, kind of got merged into his suit, and it had kind of a shimmer around it on the movie preset when consuming content from an external device. So that was kind of a bit of a disappointment. So yeah, leave it on standard. You should be good if you are going to consume content on this TV. The UI is the same Android TV UI we've seen on Realme TVs in the past, so nothing to write home about. You have access to the Google Play Store, Chromecast. There are no far-field mics on this TV like we saw with the 4K Realme TV that launched in 2021, so you still have to use the Google Assistant button on the remote control. And speaking of the remote control, it's the standard remote control that we've come to really like from Realme. It's ergonomic, it's easy to use, it's responsive. The UI had no major lags apart from something we face normally on such a budget TV, so it's nothing to complain about. The build quality is fine. It has a plastic shell all around and two plastic feet that hold the TV in place quite well, and the connectivity options are all on one side, where you have 3 HDMI ports, 2 USB ports. Yeah, so overall, like I said at the beginning, it's really hard to recommend this TV simply because you can't control the picture presets when consuming content from the built-in streaming services, and the fact that the HDR performance is so lackluster. I mean, if you want to watch HDR shows on Netflix, you are going to have to look at an external device, because the performance of content from streaming services like Amazon Prime Video and YouTube, where we try to find HDR content, the performance between HDR and SDR content wasn't much different, which leads us to believe that Netflix is probably the only streaming service that's kind of trying to push HDR content while the others are pushing SDR content natively. So yeah, that is a little confusing. So resort to an external device, switch all HDR inputs off from your Fire TV stick or gaming console that you're going to use, and you should be fine if SDR content consumption is what you are looking for. But if natively a decent 32-inch HD ready smart TV is what you're looking for, you have much better options out there to choose from. As of recording this video, this TV is priced at about 18,000 rupees, so that should give you a good idea of a benchmark of price, to features that you can expect in the market. So there you have it, guys. That was our review of the Realme 32-inch full HD TV. It feels like Realme took one step forward in giving you a full HD resolution on a 32-inch screen size, something that's not very common, but took 2 steps back, going back to the flaws we saw in their 2020 43-inch full HD TV. Those same flaws are present here. So that was our review of the Realme 32-inch full HD TV. As always, if you guys like this video, leave us a like, leave us a comment. It really helps us. And if you want to stay up to date with what we're publishing on YouTube, you should subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you are notified when we upload a new video. This is me, Samir, signing off. We will catch you in another video. It's goodbye for now.